Hey guys, I've just finished up a Stalking Shadows episode that we will hopefully be airing by the weekend. And it got me thinking to the guys that end up at the conventions booking trips out to South Africa. There are a few pointers and things that I want to share with you as a outfitter, and I've been a freelance guide for many years, that I'm not one of the big companies that goes out and markets overseas. Logistically, the cost involved for me as a small company, we can't afford it. And I got no problems with the shows, and I don't want to put bad light on the shows. But as a client, a potential client booking at these shows, I think these are the few things that you need to have in mind when you book at these shows. Point number one is the guy that you meet at the show and you book at the show because you really hit it off personally with him and you really liked him. He's the PH for the thing, or it may be the outfitter who does most of the hunts. Bear in mind, when you land in South Africa in your trip a year later, or whatever the case may be, you may not get that guide. These big companies do 200 to 300 clients a year. The PH may be booked up with another. You may have been promised at the show that you'll hunt with him, but when your booking actually comes up, when you come over, he may not be available for your trip. He may be hunting for another company. He may be hunting for them. He may have moved on and started his own company. So bear in mind, you're not guaranteed to be hunting with that PH if you've booked with him specifically at the show. We all like booking with people that we are personable with and we enjoyed him, so hence the reason we booked with him. So just keep that in mind. The second thing that us guides have to deal with when clients come out to South Africa is when you watch the big fancy promo videos that all these big companies put out and so on and so forth. It's the beautiful Land Cruiser and all the fancy toys and all the fancy stuff that they've got for their company. Yes, they've got that, but it's their personal vehicles and stuff that they will be hunting with. When you hunt in South Africa, at 99% of the companies that you hunt at, the freelance guides use their vehicles, their trackers, their dogs, their weapons to give you the best opportunities and trip that they can offer. We hunt on a day rate, guys, and we hunt for a tip at the end of the safari. So a lot of us don't have the money to drive around in a big fancy V8 Land Cruiser because we are freelance. It's seasonal work. So I might be driving an old Ford Ranger. The next guy will be driving an old Toyota. You'll see when you get there, the vehicles vary, but they are set up accordingly to do the trip. And I think that's what happens a lot of the time. Guys are expecting to have this fancy luxury and have the fancy vehicles and everything, but when they get there, they're disappointed. And just one thing that I'll never forget, we rocked up at a group of us, I think there were 5 of us picking up. Some of us had newer vehicles, some of us had older vehicles. And what happened was one of the guys in the group wasn't happy with his PH's truck, and it starts the hunt off terribly. So just bear in mind when you book with these groups, we all hardworking guys out there and we want to give you guys the best experiences, but we don't all have the V8 Land Cruiser that goes with the whole safari style, that dream safari style that has been put out there for everyone. The other thing comes in, which is also something that can affect the hunt drastically, is the promises made on rifle hire when you book these trips. You will be hunting with your professional hunter's rifle unless the company that you have booked with has an accreditation where they can license weapons on the company name, and they have a strong room with certain calibers in that gets signed out to you for the duration of your safari. You will be hunting with your PH's rifle. So it'll be your PH's 270, 3006, 308. A lot of guys have got 300s now. It's what the PH owns, his personal weapon, and he is the guy that you would be paying the rifle hire to. So keep that in mind. Just legally, as a guard, I can lend you my weapon to shoot with because I'm overseeing you. It's not legal to be handed a weapon without any documentation and driving around with it on the property without the owner with you. So just bear that in mind. So that's one other thing that creates a lot of disappointment when a client comes out to South Africa. The other thing is that a lot of these big companies in South Africa have got big pieces of ground, but we all source out other farms to hunt on. So bear in mind there will be travel involved. You don't just hunt in one area. There are very few companies that can sustain the number of clients that they want to book in a season. We have to outsource game, but we all have our connections. I myself, a drop of a phone call, I've got probably 60,000 hectares of private property that I can go hunt on, looking for specific species within my hunting area. So do your research on the company, have a good chat, go onto their websites. When you meet the guys at the shows, talk to them about all these things, how much expected time there is driving, what the rifle hire situation is, the vehicles that the guys will be picking you up in. The other thing is that, clients don't know this, that the PH carries the hunt throughout the whole safari and then only gets paid at the end of it. So we pay for, it's our vehicles, we pay our trackers, we pay our fuel, and it's our personal stuff, and then we get paid a day rate at the end of it. So we carry the hunt. The outfitter only pays us at the end of it. So, look after your PHs. They're there trying their best, doing their best. They're working for tips. So are the trackers, so are the skinners. Make sure you have those difficult conversations with the outfitter there, because it leaves it very, very difficult when you're here trying to have those conversations with your PH. So make sure you have those chats regarding tips and stuff with the outfitter at the shows. It's really important to make your trip run smoothly. Like I say, the biggest thing is you want to get here and have a great hunt and a great experience without having to worry about the nitty-gritties. You've already had those discussions with your outfitter. So those are just a few tips for when you're booking trips, and a few things that you should ask your outfitter while you're trying to plan your next safari. So if you're liking these guys, drop me a message below. I'll respond to all the messages and I'll answer as many questions as I can. I'm a small company. We hunt hard, we're honest, we get on with it, and I will be able to point you in the right direction and hopefully give you a trip of a lifetime. Cheers, guys.